This is my backyard, and it's full of life and color, with many different gardens to look at and enjoy. And I am going to give you a tour of it right now. Welcome to the July-August garden tour for my backyard. Stay tuned. Now, I say my very loosely, mainly just because my wife isn't here to enjoy this garden tour with me. She has to work today, and fortunately, I have the day off, so you get me for the entire time. Now, I just got done watering for the morning, so the flower beds are looking fantastic. Not to mention, I mowed yesterday, edged all the beds, so everything is looking nice and tidy. So we're gonna start right over here, just off the gate that I came in. This is the Jerusalem artichokes. They are doing wonderful. The tag when we first planted them said full sun, but this is a shade-loving garden, and these things seem to be loving their life. This right here is the oak leaf acanthus that we got for my wife's Mother's Day present. It's doing good. It does have a little bit of chlorosis down at the bottom, but that may be from when we first planted it and it was kind of getting used to the area that it is in, because all the other leaves have no chlorosis whatsoever, so that could have just been a little bit of shock left over. Right here is our Trash to Treasure bicycle, which we outfitted with a planter here on the front and in the cup holder, and we have plans to do something on the back as well with another basket. Now the heuchera that's right here, as well as the impatiens, are doing wonderful in their planters as long as you keep them watered. With that being a very small reservoir, it dries out really quick. So here is a great little vista that April and I put together, which is the double sink planter, which is just filled to the brim with these impatiens and fern, and they make a wonderful sight as you're coming through the gate. Now just off the planter right there, we have another planter here with some polka dot plant, some spike grass, and then flanking that on either side in the front are some milk and wines that are all doing fantastic. Now as you come through the pathway here, which isn't quite finished yet, you have Sir Tigglesworth, our fox. Yes, we named it Sir Tigglesworth. Reason for that is I used to have a cat that had an ear nip, and this one inadvertently has an ear nip. Just reminds me of him. He's no longer with us, so in honor of him, that is the namesake. Now, in a video that you guys are probably going to see here pretty quick, we actually planted up a lot of plugs from the Plant a Prairie sale, and some of these right here are some of the ones that we planted, and they have grown quite a bit. Like I said, these were plugs, no longer. They have gotten much bigger, so we've got some Walker's Low catmint on either side of Sir Tigglesworth here. We have some hardy geranium back here that have already shown some blooms here and there. We got our crepe myrtle here, which is a purple crepe myrtle. It is beautiful blooms. And then a forsythia back here. Now in this bed, which is fairly new, you guys probably saw a video of that where we removed a bunch of Bermuda out of this. There's a lot to see here. However, it's kind of hard to see here. The reason for that is we did have some more plugs that we put in here from the Plant a Prairie sale, and they just haven't come into their own yet. But here along the edge, which is the pathway leading to the gazebo, has quite a bit that is doing quite well. We have our Gara here, which is white Gara that we got from a local supplier at the farmer's market. And in between each one, we have some lavender. And we planted those looking like this. They were small, and they've at least doubled, if not tripled in size from lavender to lavender. I got some more Gara over here, lavender, and then we've got a sweet spire right there. And then if you notice, we have a new addition to this garden, which you guys are going to see how we made this, but there were some trials and tribulations with this water feature, let me tell you. So as I come inside the bed, right here, we've got a Boom Chocolata geranium right here. Proven winners, and this came from the clearance rack, along with the Big Sky Salvia right next door, which we also picked up at the clearance rack. We have some more catmint, Walker's Low along the edge of the border, and then some more hardy geraniums right here. As you can see, there is a bloom on that one. We've also got some carex grasses along the edge of this border that kind of line the pathway. And then some creeping phlox right up here. Well, they may be creeping. Not sure if they're creeping or not. They are phlox. And there's several planted along around the tree stump over here just to give it some whimsy. Now another plant I forgot to point out along this border right behind the lavender and the Gara is a Shasta daisy here, and this is the Western Star Leah Shasta daisy. This was combined along with another one that we have over here, I'll show you in a second, that we just picked up randomly. And then right here, we've got some proven winners fuchsia salvia that we have purchased from the clearance rack. I got 3 of them, and they kind of go up and around the water feature. We just haven't put them in the ground yet. Now, coming up through the gazebo, you'll notice that we have a couple of things that are in pairs, and the first 2 we have are the green emerald arborvitae. As we go through here, you'll notice right here on either side, we have 2 big planters that are filled with geraniums, spikegrass, some sweet alyssum, as well as some vinca vine, and they are doing quite well. Right here on either side, we've got our 2 herb planters, which have things like marjoram and basil and oregano, and gosh, there's like 9 different varieties in here. We have harvested these twice, and gave them to some friends, family, neighbors. They all love it, and these things are doing fantastic. Each time we cut them back, they just grow so fast. Now, the second half of our garden is probably the most beautiful, as it is probably the most scenic as you come down the pathways. Now, this center garden you see here can be viewed one of 2 ways. Over here on the grass pathway, and over there on the new pathway, which Drew is demonstrating right now. How did that pathway come to be, Drew? Well, this pathway we put in not too long ago just to go gain access, rather, on the back side of the gazebo, which will take you all the way to the gate. We did make a video on that, so check that out. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll take it from here, and I'll kick it over to you here in just a minute. Now, over here we have the Shasta daisy that I had pointed out a minute ago. This version right here is the sweet daisy birdie daisy. Over here in this small little section, we've got a balloon flower, which has put on some blooms here and there, but it's still getting established. We have those cannas, which we put in earlier in another video that you guys have seen already, and they are doing fantastic. Milk and wine here, rattlesnake master, which we transplanted from a different area of the garden over here. Some more cannas, which are doing great, fully bloomed out. Iris is here, mandevilla there, that seems to be doing well. And that is what you can see on this side. So now, Drew, you can take it away. On this side, we have the daylilies, as well as cannas that you can still see on this side. This is the mystery plant that we had, called a late blooming, or late boneset rather. Puts out these beautiful white little flowers all over. It attracts bees, hummingbirds, all kinds of pollinators are attracted to this thing, and it got big. But we didn't start seeing these blooms until about 2 weeks ago. So it is a very late bloomer, hence its name, I guess. And then let's see, over here we got another planter, and then some more plugs that we put in, which are butterfly weed. So that will get much bigger and bloom orange. Over on this side, as you traverse the path, you'll be able to gain access to some of the other plants, like the rattlesnake master and the bee balm. We've got some milk and wines, honeysuckle, some blazing star liatris. And then as you exit the path, you run into some more nepeta, which is the Walker's Low catmint, some echinacea, as well as some baptisia we've got planted through this area. The other honeysuckle here. We've got some drift roses right here, which are doing great. Some rattlesnake master next to that. The Mexican petunia, if you cannot tell, is doing fantastic. It's even put out a volunteer just on the other side over here. And then we've got some daylilies, as well as some spearmint and peppermint on this end. And then followed up by the honeysuckle bush that we have on the far end, and some carex grass underneath it. Now, turning around from the honeysuckle bush, you'll be looking at our blue stem grass that we've got right here, followed up with our knockout roses, which are the pink version right here, and they are doing great. No problems with rose rosette on that, and I'll talk about that in the front garden tour, so be sure and check that out. Now, as we turn around, right in front, we've got some panicum grasses that we put from the Planted Prairie sale right here in front of the roses. We've got some milk and wines, some irises that we have dug up from my wife's parents' property and just filled this area up. They've been here a long time. They need to be divided because they're not really blooming that much. So we'll take care of that in a future video. We've got a smoke bush right here, which we are considering transplanting to a different area because this is like its 5th year. Hasn't really done much. So we're going to move it into an area where it might like it better and maybe put a tree right here. We've got some more Walker's Low catmint right here in front. And then this area right behind it is filled with blanket flower. Beautiful, beautiful blanket flower. But in a prior video, you guys saw us design a little bit more of our memory bed. We call it our memory bed because this is where we keep memories of our former pets in the form of statues that we have underneath my daughter's window. So over here, we've got a planter with some flowers in it that are doing wonderful. We've got a spiderwort, which we transplanted, doing wonderful. Over here, we got some running tapestry. It's also called Tiarella. We planted 5 of those, and they do like to spread. We'll see how those do. And then we also have another Walker's Low catmint, which is gotten to its normal size, about 3 feet wide, 2 feet high. Some milk and wine, gladiolus, that's back there. So not a lot's going on here. This one's still kind of in production. We don't have it planted up the way we want, but what we do have is looking good. So just off the arbor that we intend on moving, we do have some seedlings my wife did get transplanted. Now we did do a video on what some of these seeds were, so be sure and check that out because I'm not going to be able to tell you what they are, except the yucca. I do know that. Now over here on the other side of the iris bed that's right in front, we have our mimosa tree, which we had our first sighting of a hummingbird, which was awesome. So we moved our feeders over here to help entice some more because this is our first one we've ever had, and it's August. So yeah. Hopefully we'll have more next year. But on the back side here along the fence line and the entire length of the fence, you'll notice that it's pretty overgrown, and that's mainly because what we did have, we just kind of let go. So we are going to start over in that area and carry it all the way down the fence into the secret garden. This is the secret garden. You notice that it looks pretty cleaned up. There's piles of stuff right here, and that's because we did spend 2 days out here getting this all cleaned up. This was filled with morning glory, unfortunately, and it choked out a lot of stuff. But we did uncover all of our milk and wines we have planted along the side. We uncovered the greenhouse because it was pretty overgrown. This wheelbarrow, you couldn't even see it. It was wrapped up in all kinds of morning glory. All of the hollyhocks that we had right here, they got destroyed. So we're gonna have to start over with that. But really, this whole thing is going to get a makeover anyway. We did leave this red bud here because we do want it to grow, but this is going to get revamped because of the new layout that we're going to have with the pergola that's going to be right there. So yeah, this is all going to be changed up. So hopefully it's going to look much better when we're done. We do have this beautiful hibiscus here, and as you can see, the blooms are gorgeous, and this plant is huge, very prolific right now, lots of buds everywhere, and they have a new bud every day. And the last thing in the secret garden is this knockout rose, which we did make a short about as well. I also have it in a long form video, but it is very happy where it's at. Some beautiful blooms that are starting to occur on this new cane, but yeah, very happy, and it's happy. So as you can tell, there is still quite a bit that we want to do, but this is our vacation just outside our back door. My wife and I love coming out here and just enjoying our time and seeing the fruits of our labor, but there's still more to do. The whole fence line needs to be done. The pergola needs to be put up. Some beds that we've made need to be added to. Some beds we've had for a while need to be added to. But all in all, we absolutely love it down here. And if you want to see the progress about how we got to this point, you can check out the videos on my right or left, and it will take you on a journey that you probably will be interested in knowing about. So be sure and hit the subscribe button, like this video, comment down below, let us know who you are, where you're from, if you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, be sure and drop them there. And until next time, we'll see you on the next video. But don't forget, if you haven't seen the front garden tour, go see it now.